You're listening to 1069 Click FM, live in color.
Yes, I was right. I was very, very silly to think that I wasn't going to have anything to talk about today because I forgot that constant about the news. It keeps on happening. So that's why we are here today for this little version of what I'm now dubbing Ass Talk. Because I apparently have no standards for myself anymore. Anyway, it's just a little hour at the end of the week to catch each other up with bits of news, sports discussion, and perspectives about everything that's happened in the past week. And there's a couple things that I'm not going to touch on. One is Joe Mixon. Number two is Rodgers or anything to do with him. And there was a number three. I'll remember number three by the end of this show. Meanwhile, I think we should start with the big one that just stampeded into my screen, and that was Tim letting me know that Kyrie Irving has requested a trade away from the Brooklyn Nets. Ahead of the deadline, William, glad to could see you here in your other hat. And now, please correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what I vaguely remember from my brief look into the NBA playoffs last season. The Brooklyn Nets were making a lot of noise, and then they did not. And then they got worse. And that's, yeah, that's all that's coming to mind. Because I mostly remember being let down by the Celtics. Where do I think Kyrie is going? Well, first, I would recommend that he go to a place that has an NBA franchise so that it will cut down on the commute. I think that should be his first consideration. Really, William? He wants to go back to... You think he would go back to LeBron in LA? Oh my God. Oh my God. The ring chasing. It is real. All right, well, let's hope he doesn't come to Milwaukee then, or any of the surrounding areas. Sorry, quick diversion. One of the coolest celebrity-centric things I learned from being a Lyft driver in Chicago was that Sedarius Smith, when he was with the team, frequently liked to come down and party in Chicago. And yeah, I got to see his phone number in somebody's phone. I later verified that it was real. So, yeah. Anyway, hello Ron, glad to see you here. Ring chasing with LeBron isn't a thing anymore. Well, they've still got Anthony Davis as well, so I figure these days LeBron is just kind of collecting the check while trying to... I think he was intending to get some kind of production or media thing established out in California, and that was his main reason for going there. But then again, when you don't pay attention to professional basketball, aside from the cartoons you see on Bleacher Report, there's a lot of gaps in my knowledge as far as basketball is concerned. And William got his account back. Hooray. Kyrie Irving is the David Crosby of the NBA. Great musician, but eventually blows up the band. Hopefully not while freebasing in the locker room. Does Durant stay in New York if Kyrie leaves? I mean, yeah. He should probably be able to find a place, even if Kyrie has to break the lease and they move out early before the year is up. That's just the difficulties with roommate situations. Oh, I get it now, Leif. Congratulations on nearly 2 decades. Go have yourself something nice to drink, like perhaps a good cup of legal coffee. I don't know who... I don't think I would want to play with the mighty Ben Simmons, Luke, but that's also because my specialization is mostly defense and I can't shoot for shit. Tim, I need your help with a timeline clarification on something. So, in case you don't know, there was this strange confluence of events and reporting and Twitter pissing contest that ended up with Brad Marchand trying to zing Steve Dangle, of all people, by posting a picture from his one of the promotional pics of his book tour where he's kind of like on the ground doing the fun rawr lion pose thing that photographers do when they want the odd casual shot to break your tension and relax. And he's captioned it with, "Is this your mighty might roar?" I'm pronouncing those were the words, not mighty roar, mighty might roar. Mighty might roar, Luke. And I will explain why I think it was as soon as Tim confirmed something on the timing for me. Now the whole kerfuffle started with some reporting that came out of the Anaheim Ducks Coyotes game, correct? Hello, Angie. And Luke, I have weird feelings about the tiered moderation bullshit from the other day. Let me save them for the end of the show, since they're not really sports related, but it is a YouTube thing. Okay. Hello, Ishii, and hello, Sean, by the way. So everybody else stare at Angie while I ask Tim a couple of clarification questions. Now, was that during the 3-game... As my stupid brain understands it right now, that was the period of time where the Bruins were on a 3-game losing streak, which ended when the Bruins beat the Leafs to go into the All-Star break. Yes, we have an Angie. We also have in the other room a brave Monty, who has now taken to actually sitting on the floor when he wants to be close to all the action. Right before the losing streak was the Ducks game. So it was right before the losing streak. Okay. Alright, so follow the events of the timeline with me. So Ducks Coyotes game happens. Day or so later, that little piece of reporting comes out about the Ducks Coyotes game. Brad Marchand tells reporter, yes, I saw that. Brad Marchand tells reporter, who is reporting on conversation from game in which he was not involved, to shut up. Steve Dangle fires back at him for being a dick on the internet, and then Brad Marchand gives us the mighty might roar. Do I have the order of events correct on that? With one more quote missing. All right. Good. We'll get this clarified right now because I think I understand, actually, why Brad Marchand decided to get snippy with a reporter on Twitter. The most wonderful place to have a restrained, well-constructed argument with somebody about a topic of mutual interest. All right. Yeah. I asked Brad Marchand about this, so Brad Marchand tells the reporter to shut up. Somebody else follows up with Marchand 2 days ago about it. Nothing. I read that tweet and that's what popped in my head, so I said it. I'm sorry you didn't like my answer, Jacob. Would you like me to say something different so you don't have something so stupid to hang your career on? Great reporting this AM. All right. Now, let me... All right. Great reporting this AM. Then, Steve Dangle, that makes you feel big. The fuck is this? Relax. And Marchand replies with the mighty, mighty roar at 10... Now, timeline. 1:07 p.m. Yeah. 1:07 p.m. He sends out the mighty, mighty roar. And then that night, the Bruins defeat the Maple Leafs 5-2. Brad Marchand was missing his blankie. For everybody, we all have a different blankie. You know, for some of us, it's a good record. You know, so for others of us, it's a stiff drink. And for others of us, it's winning a championship in sports and lording it over everybody for a year. We may know some athletes like that. But I think for Brad Marchand, his binky is winning. And he had... Yeah. And he had not had his binky for a number of days. And Marchand was cranky. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Bored and cranky. Did not have his blankie. Oh dear. Raiders have already granted QB Derek Carr permission to speak with other teams interested in trading for him that have also agreed to compensation with Las Vegas. Schefter. I'll wait for confirmation on that one. If forgive me, Sean, until somebody else than Schefter says it. All right. And for Schefter, it might be just his code message to remind himself to pick up mayonnaise on the way home from work. That's all I think he's doing at this point, is putting out his grocery list in code to see who can solve it before he does. So, as you all may have noticed, there were two big head coaching hires this week. And Sean Payton is less interesting to me. The one that is interesting to me is DeMeco Ryan. The Texans have not exactly been the best organization the past couple years. You know, not even bringing up the whole Deshaun Watson thing. The only hope that before that the Texans fans could really hang their hat on was the fact that Easterby, if I recall correctly, was let go during the season. And the thing that struck me and was odd to a lot of people was that Ryan got a 6-year contract. Now, this is a strange thing because I don't really know DeMeco Ryan as a player. I saw he got a couple of honors, but had the unfortunate career path of did well, got his bag, then got injured, and retired soon after. And if they do, Luke, you know what? I will gladly root for the Colts every weekend. And I don't know very much about his tenure as a coach. There weren't a lot of notes on it that I was able to find. I did see that he worked his way up the coaching tree through the defense, specifically coaching linebackers, and and I'm wondering how much of his success being the defensive coordinator this weekend is just essentially keeping his hands on the wheel of the ship that Robert Saleh had already built. And then had decided to jump overboard and swim for the other coast. But anyway. I have a bad feeling about why DeMeco Ryan got a 6-year contract. And I'm afraid it's because of a new thing that might go through the NFL. It happened once with the Patriots, but now I think teams who are in the basement will now try to copy the the Detroit Lions. Sorry, my mind was on a track there. I think teams are going to try to copy the Detroit Lions. And I'm not saying I'm not saying they're going to try to hire away Lions people. I'm thinking if they can't get the Lions people, they'll just copy their methods. Try to give a coach time to establish a culture, like strip everything down and start there, which the Texans are essentially doing. Mm-hmm. Yes, Luke. And once you invent the time travel machine that allows you to do that before you hire a coach that people say was left out of the Coach of the Year conversations, let me know because that's a really big thing and we could solve some problems like the olive shortage. Let's see. It's from John Sabel of the New York Nets. With all the surprises that come with Kyrie Irving, the biggest surprise is that he hasn't dated our Kardashian yet. Oh, someone's not getting fired. It is, anything goes in social media these days, especially on Twitter. Yeah, there's a reason I don't announce stuff on there anymore. It just never really sends anybody, and I get folks coming over anyhow. Ugh. Some reports have said that Giants defensive coordinator Wink Martindale is one of the frontrunners for the Colts head coach job. Yeah, I hope that isn't true. That I think that would be a loss for the Giants. Yeah, anytime you bring a Kardashian into things to try to make your point, you've already sunk lower than you really need to. Ugh. See, and this is why I really did not want to. There was part of me that didn't want to talk about the Brad Marchand thing until the timeline connected in my head about him being pissed off of having not won a game recently. And so other than that, I never want to report on online happenings like that just because it's very little of substance. It's not a real thing, and pretty soon before we know it, all the accounts will be empty and deleted. Tulane running back Tyjae Spears named Senior Bowl Practice Player of the Week in a vote of NFL executives and scouts. Huh. A running back, you say? Yeah. Yeah, the timing just lines up too well for me, Tim. I think he just missed his blankie. Oh, Luke, yeah, we could talk about Tom Brady all we want. I think it'll be ready. I think it'll be for real. Once we get that first announcement of this fall, Tom Brady is coming to the Fox Sports Broadcasting booth. And from Tulane. Hey. I think it's as given these days when it comes to college football that you gotta expect certain programs to start rising up when we least expect them. I mean, nobody saw Appalachian State coming or Boise State. Oh. Yeah, but he could wait and come back. I think he cannot be away from the game or the spotlight for very long, and we'll see him again soon. Fortunately, very soon, much sooner than we might like, but that's neither here nor there. Let me see if I have missed anything here. Nope. All right. Cool. All right, 25 minutes before I had to start searching for something to talk about. I think that's got to be some kind of record for this show. Which, this O'Reilly you speak of, is that somebody in the front office? Is that a manager? Because I thought, unless I missed something, I thought Craig Berube was the coach of the Blues still. Very likely that I have missed something. Sometimes it's hard to keep up on all the hirings and firings for every league. Oh, he's a player. Yeah, it's doublespeak to keep everybody guessing. That's all. And we'll cover them in the future when either absolutely nothing happens or he ends up getting traded away. They can point to that and say, we told you the possibility was there. He's a center forward for the Blues. Former captain of the Sabres. My question to you, is he a highly paid player, and does it look like the Blues, and are the Blues currently in playoffs contention? All right. Oh, now I remember what I wanted to ask you all. Blues are on the bubble. All right. So, Sean Payton and the Broncos. All this move says to me is that Denver is operating under the idea that they have a team that is ready to compete, and they just need the golden coach to come in and get things done. And I'm asking all Broncos fans, please don't get riled up again. Don't overextend yourself. Keep your feet out of your mouth, please. Oh shoot, Pizzle is here as well. Hello. And Michael has just arrived. Groovy. More people coming in. So that's my question to you all. Does that seem like a plausible scenario that the Broncos think that they are just a coach away from playoff glory? And also, if any of you can answer me about this upcoming NBA season, however long it goes on, I don't know. Do the Celtics look like they can make it back this year for another attempt at the title? No, it didn't work out so well last year for them, but just for those of you who pay attention, because I know they're doing pretty well right now, I think. I know that they spanked the Lakers, who don't have LeBron or AD at the moment, but still, about 40-point victories still. You know. Sean says he thinks the Broncos are desperate for anything. Michael says they're trying hard to be the Rams of the AFC West. Ooh. Oh yeah. Fuck them Pitx. I forgot. Oh, I can't wait until this style of team building is done. And even Luke, William, and Pizzle say they're legit looking pretty dangerous. But Pizzle thinks that the Broncos are still a few pieces away. Celtics are legit unless they get a title. You mean if they get a title? Oh, that's all right. Oh, yeah. That is a possibility of happening. Gonna have one of those potential one city owning a majority of the sports trophies situations. Oh, that's another question, Luke. Do the Nuggets have anybody else besides Jokic to carry him? Carry them, I mean. Luke predicts Boston, Milwaukee, or Philly. Really? Philly looks like they're getting their act together? Taking it on the road? Oh, cool. I'm trying to remember the last time that had happened for the Celtics and the Bruins, but I'm sure Tim will probably bring that up in like 40 seconds. He says he can't trust Philly in the clutch yet. Ooh. Oh, man. Oh, and in case anybody is wondering, this also eliminates talking about anything that Devontae may have said this past week. Thank you in advance for your cooperation. The Bucks are their kryptonite. Ooh. And the West is a tight conference in the NBA. The Bruins, I think the Bruins are a very dangerous team, but I think they can be beat if they let another team outskate them. So yeah, I'd say right now Bruins are serious contenders to make it to the conference finals or the cup, from what I've seen of them this season. I can't wait for the second half of hockey to start up again so I can start branching out to some other teams. I want to get a better look at the Kraken to see if that one game of theirs that I watched was an aberration or whether it's the real thing. Oh yeah. Oh, I got to see how much of a challenge it is when the Hurricanes just absolutely spanked Buffalo. Luke informs me that Jamal Murray, when healthy, is a solid option for the Nuggets. They won in 7 last year and no home team lost. And wait a minute. Are you kidding me, Michael? The Sacramento Kings are currently 3rd in the West? Damn. Well, we were all out partying and getting laid. Sacramento Kings were at home studying the blade. And apparently the Kraken have been on a tear. Yeah. So I have heard. So, Seattle, Leif, all you guys, you got something to be excited about up there again. Enjoy it. I mean, good for them. feels like so long since I've even paid any attention to the Sacramento Kings, and that's just because I think for a while a blogger that I followed was a big Kings fan, so they posted about them all the time. Oh. Oh boy. Is there anything else that I wanted to bring up today? Oh. Small market hockey teams, well, we definitely consider the Coyotes are definitely one. I would kind of consider the Hurricanes to be a small market team because hockey's not a very big sport in Carolina, but the fans out there are damn loyal. I think St. Louis Blues can be considered, are sometimes considered small market. All right. Let's see, where is all the standings? Oh, and right at the top of the Pacific Division is the Kraken right now. Ahead of the Kings. Damn. I wasn't expecting the Kings to make themselves known again so soon. Third in the West at 29-21. There's the Ducks and the Sharks. At the bottom. Like we expected. Alright, let's take a look at the other division. Alright, we got the Stars, who are still up there. I'm glad at least they've been consistent from their last Cup appearance and stayed in contention. The Jets. Okay. Haven't got to see them very much. The Wild are kind of hanging in there. The Kings have a -10 goal differential. Oh. Ooh. Oh, that's not good. Ah, okay. I see what that means now. Thank you, Tim. Oh yeah, I think unless they're in a real situated in like a major city, Ron, like I was saying, like one of the bigger ones, a lot of hockey teams that are in the South could be considered small market. Oh boy, well, at least it's good to see the Golden Knights are still hanging in there, as are the Oilers. We could get... Oh, no, the Flames are going to have to do a lot of catching up if we want to get another Battle of Alberta. Unfortunately. And the Stars have a +40 goal differential? Oh. Okay. Note to self. Pay attention to the Dallas Stars in the second half. That could be worrisome. Anyway. Oh, as I keep seeing over and over again in every advertisement on Fox, racing season is upon us again. Now, I know that certain of you are waiting for, you know, the giggity bibbity bobbity boo, let's race. That racing. But I got to observe the start of the sand rally racing in Yella's Marble League, and we already have a rookie Amethyst who has come out of nowhere after qualifying for the league to grab the first gold in the first race of the season. And red number 3, the veteran, who has ways of staging comebacks like certain Brady's we could mention, finishing in 14th. So I think it's going to be an exciting season over in the Sand Rally. I recommend you check it out. Let's see. Michael informs me the Sacramento Kings got a good core together with Domantas Sabonis, De'Aaron Fox, Kevin Huerter, and Harrison Barnes. NASCAR has going to enter into the race at Le Mans. Are you shitting me? And why is Tom streaming the Daytona 500? Uh-oh. Okay, let me take a look at this. NASCAR's Garage 56, this comes from a Charles Bradley story on motorsport.com, revealed its headlight setup during Daytona testing this week. Okay, now they're talking about specs and alterations. And there it is. They're going to test at Sebring at the end of the month, where it will attempt a straight 18 to 24 hour endurance run. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, no, that's I think, yeah, one clickbait, but I think LQ and I were pushing for that punishment on clickbait. Oh, okay. I think NASCAR has realized that they may be losing, maybe in danger of losing market share to F1, who is trying to gain more fans and more of a foothold in, let's be specific, the United States. And in a comparison that I will not speak out loud, for it will probably get me set on fire, I think they are aiming to start an overseas reach to spread the glory of NASCAR through other nations. And I have an unfortunate feeling they might be able to succeed at it. If at the very least, getting eyes on them for entering Le Mans. Oh God, when is the Daytona 500? This is making me very, very sad. Daytona 500. Okay, so it's Sunday 19th at 1:30 p.m. Well, hey, it'll be nice to have Grossi streaming on a Sunday afternoon again. Oh. Oh, wow. it was the first time since '76. Damn. Oh. Yes, that's what I heard. The Clash at the Coliseum. That's the one that they have been yammering to me about in all of the ads. I'm trying to think if there's nope, there's no other sports things that I can think to talk about unless there's anything you all think that I need to know before I close out the show today. I do have one more thing to kind of talk about, but it's completely unrelated to sports. The what? So they're gonna put Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson in the NASCAR to drive at Le Mans. Well, I tell you, Ron, my dad, when he was alive, was a big racing fan, huge fan of Formula One racing, and he thought NASCAR was one of the dumbest things in the world. Like, and then when I say he's a big fan of Formula One, like when our family went to Germany, we actually went to go see the German Grand Prix at Hockenheim while we were out there. It was one of the big check marks of things to do while we were there. And he loved like old movies about racing, the Gumball Rally and Le Mans and Grand Prix. And, he's a big car guy. And I think the news that Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson would be driving a NASCAR vehicle at Le Mans would probably cause him to shit an actual brick. So, yeah. You know what? Now that I think about it that way, I'm not so opposed to the idea anymore. So, cool. Good job. Oh, it's going to be the 100th run of Le Mans. Damn. We're getting to that. Oh, damn, we're going to start getting to that point where there's 100th anniversaries of all kinds of things that I remember the originating year of. And that's going to get scary. Yeah, beating out IndyCar and Red Bull. Yeah. Well, let's see what they do with the opportunity when they get it, Tim. We will see. Oh, beating out. It's different hand placement in a different direction, Ron. I know not a lot of us got exposure to good sex education when we were younger, but there's still time to learn. And damn, next year is the 100th year for the Bruins. See? It's happening over and over again. So, this is just the last thing that I want to say before I wrap up today. I'm really serious about you going to check out the sand rally at Yella's Marble Races because his channel is just as big an inspiration to me as Grossi and any all other like entertainers and creators, because for everything Yella makes a bid to improve things in little ways, quality of life improvements, I keep calling them. You can see that And you can also see them trying new things out. Some ideas stick, some ideas end up fading away, some will get brought back and get retooled. But there's always a sense of growth, of trying new things, of trying to keep things, interesting. If not for us, but for, themselves. Well, congratulations, Ron. I hope sounds like a personal best. All right, I will save that last news after I talk about the tiered moderation system. So, I will find the link for that as I tell people about this setting that came up, and it came up for me on the last stream, talking about a moderation tier that is going to become an option and that we would soon be able to try out. And all it is that you could choose current modders to elevate to a level called Managing Moderator, who would then be in charge of other chat functions like slow modes and like changing members only subscriber, adding words to the list of verboten in chat. And it immediately set off a bit of a red flag with me, just because that is a lot of power to be handing to somebody whose ass is not on the line if something goes horribly wrong with that. If a managing moderator manages to completely shit the bed in that respect and get a YouTube channel in trouble that is not, their own YouTube channel, they're just helping out with it, yeah. And I see it as just... The first thought that I really had was it seemed like a way to engender envy between moderators, like making all of them equal, but some of them more equal than others. Points if you get the reference. That's Yella's channel, by the way, if you want to go look at it. He has a lot of different events that he does. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It sounds like a good idea, but then you remember that the human element gets involved. And for as much as we'd like to think we are trusting and we can trust each other, there's still sometimes that little bit of doubt, and you really have to work to get the trust of somebody that you've never really seen face to face over the internet, or that you've never interacted with in person. And it just seemed like it had the potential for a lot of abuse and a lot of problems. And as much as I like the idea, I think the human factor prevents it from being a good one right now. I'd hope, but only I think Ron and True North are the bots here in chat. And Tim also informs me the owner of the Seattle Kraken has submitted an application for expansion to bring a new version of the Seattle Sonics back to Washington. And the Fenway Sports Group have done the same to do so in Vegas. Okay. It does give me joy that Seattle could get their team back, but now Fenway Fenway people are trying to get an expansion team in Vegas? Ooh, oh boy. Well, that's going to make things fun for all the speculation that's going to go on in that, all the rumors. Taking a look at local business dealings, who's going to pay for what, whose taxes get raised, whose food prices go up, all in the name of which team we can get to our city, and how soon will it be? We've covered that. Tiered moderation, the hoopty things, and yeah, turns out I completely forgot what that third thing was that I was supposed to remember at the beginning of the show. Couldn't have been that important then. Yep. I'm always aware of my breathing, Luke. It's how I manage to convince myself that I'm still alive. But that's going to do it for this week's edition of Ass Talk. Yeah. Oh yeah, they definitely want more money, and that seems like a good place to get it. Thank you for being here. I was glad we were able to catch each other up and get some different ideas out there and going. I hope to see you tomorrow for the GTA 3 noob stream. It should be going on in the middle of the afternoon. It's going to be more of a rough tech testing than anything else, so don't expect proper intros or any smooth, cool breaks. Just me doofing around. Until then, this has been Ass Talk. I'm Jim B. Thanks for tuning in. Good night, Milwaukee, wherever you are.